Good morning, Vlogtober day 17, and it's 6 a.m. and I should be at work. I'm riding in with my coworker today, so he typically picks me up at the coffee shop at the top of the hill about 10 or 20 after 7, and we usually get into work around 8 o'clock when I go in with him. So I have a little extra time to slink around this morning. And what I'll probably do is my morning face routine. I try to do it before I leave for work. It just depends on how early I get up. And in the wintertime, I'll be honest, I'm a little lazier. I do it at work. It's super quick, so it doesn't really matter. But it's always some sort of moisturizing sunscreen. I go for a 2-in-1. That way I can kind of reapply throughout the day, and I'm just giving my skin more moisture. This is Josie Marin. It's a little heavier, so I use it autumn going into winter as well. I tend to use something a little lighter in the summer. And then I also do mascara, and then I do some sort of tinted lip balm or lipstick. This one is from Ilia. This is the broken one. It has an SPF of 15 in it. If I am feeling super fancy, I may also apply something like this, which is a tinted sunscreen serum, just to give a little bit of coverage and even out my skin tone. But then if I do that, I typically will apply a bit of something to my cheeks to give myself a little bit of color. But most days it's really just 3 products. John and I don't have much in the way of decoration. We do have a few pieces of art hanging on the wall. But this is one exception, our mantle and our fireplace. And these are items that really mean a lot to us. The terrarium I made, moving left to right. There's it's actually a paper cut of Ganesha made by an artist who sold at Penn State Art Fair. That Japanese doll was given to me by an international student that I hosted when I worked at Vassar College. The Buddha, oddly enough, John's grandmother is very into Asian art and artifacts. So this Buddha was given to her by her husband, John's grandfather, and she gave it to us, which I think is really sweet. This little vase here, it's just something we found in an antique store and liked. I don't think there's it's certainly not a high-priced antique. It's just something that we thought was really cute. The fish is a chopstick holder that we bought at the Seattle Asian Arts Museum. And let's see, these last 2 pieces. That is bamboo that my mother bought for me probably 5 years ago. I'm surprised it's lasted this long that I've repotted. And then it's sitting on a tray that John's former boss gave to us as a wedding gift. Hey there, good evening. Well, actually it's late afternoon, early evening. I had a slight change of plans today. I was supposed to go home with a friend of mine to see her new home, but she came into work and she was not feeling well. So rather than risk getting a cold or stomach virus, we're not really sure what's going on with her, I decided to come and visit my parents instead. I'd already had clothing packed, so voila, here I am at my parents' house, and grab a little something to eat. We'll probably watch some television, and then I'll do a little bit of reading. I'm currently reading, I kind of keep a rotation of books. I read/listen to one book on CD during my commute, and then I usually have another book going that I'm reading, for quiet times at a break or when I'm at home. So my commute read right now is The Shape of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert, and it's a fictional work. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love, which, was a huge hit so many years ago, and that book just made me so angry. It took me like 2 or 3 tries. Actually, I think it took me like 4 tries to actually make it through the entire book. And it's really one of those things, sunk cost fallacy. I don't know why I invested the effort into it. I must be like the only woman in the U.S. that did not like that book. I did not find it to be inspiring of anything other than my anger at privilege. And then I'm also reading Riot Days. This is one of the founding members of Pussy Riot, which is a kind of art punk band from Russia. And several of the members were jailed several years ago for an act of rebellion that took place in a church. And they've kind of become martyrs for their cause. And I just think, it's kind of an interesting story. But the book itself is kind of written like a journal. I don't know what I really think about the way that it's laid out, but it does make for a quick and easy read. So I'll be ticking off another book for my Goodreads challenge. I think I said I would read something like 40 books this year, and I'm a little bit behind, and it's, really like 2.5 months left to go in 2017. So I don't think I'll be reaching my 40 books. It seems so doable, but I don't know. There are just times that I love to read, and I will read like 2 or 3 books at a time. It always helps to have a book on CD going as well. And then there are just times where reading kind of makes my eyes hurt and is probably more engagement than I'm willing to give after work. And I had another day at work that was just sort of draining. I did a training, and I'm not a trainer by profession at all, so I'm trying to train my coworkers, and I'd like to see anybody else who hasn't had a background in training get up and do this and deal with the negativity because it's not fun. And then I also had another meeting scheduled. I had an impromptu meeting where someone just came over to my desk and we had a meeting for half an hour about a database. And then I had a meeting scheduled. It was a focus group about employee engagement and retention. So that was kind of interesting. I'm cracking up. I just found 2 artifacts of my teenage years, and they're both lip gloss containers. I don't know which one I like better. The first one is a set of lips. The second one is this hamburger. And this lettuce is just killing me. And there's actually texture and grain on this hamburger. I don't know if the sesame seed bun. The minimalists and Marie Kondo would tell me that if they're not adding value to my life and I'm not using them or they're not sparking joy, then that I should get rid of them. But I have to say, they're not useful. I certainly wouldn't be displaying them in my house, but oh my God, these things are sparking some serious joy for me right now. Well, good evening. It is 8 o'clock. The light in here is atrocious, so I apologize. And if I look quite flushed, well, number 1, it's the bad lighting, and number 2, I've washed, massaged, and moisturized my face, and it's a little bit warm in the house, so I'm just a little bit flushed. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Need to bathe, brush, and floss, and try to keep myself awake until bedtime, which is usually about 9:30 or so. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had a great day.